Skull Valley is just a place where the road and the railroad track cross. And on one side of the road is a gas station, and on the other side of the road was my grandmother's general store, and she was also the postmaster there. So her days were really ruled by getting the mail to the station, the Skull Valley station, in the evening after the post office had closed, and then going there first thing in the morning to pick up the mail because it would be dropped off for her in the night. So when I was a little girl, I would spend the summers with her in Skull Valley, and that was part of our day. We would have to get up in the morning and go down to the station. It was only a quarter mile away, and I remember the sack that the mail came in really distinctly. It was a heavy canvas, and around the top there were metal grommets with a heavy piece of rope through it, and then a padlock on that rope to keep the mail safe. So that's what, and then it was locked in the sack, and then it was put in a box at the station house that was also locked. So Grandma had to open that, get the mail out, take it back, and then she distributed the mail every morning, and she put it back in and took it there in the evening. So the railroad was hugely important in her life.
Well, back in the 50s, there were trains that, in order to keep schedule, didn't stop, but they still carried the mail. And the Argonaut was a very heavy mail train for the Southern Pacific and for Tempe. And the depot was kind of a focal point for railroad activities in a town back in those days. And so I went in and saw the agent and asked him, you know, what's happening, and anything to see. And I saw one of those little olive drab panel vans that they had in the 50s that came over from the post office. Guy got out and went over to a crane that was about, 100 yards south of the Tempe depot. And it didn't look like much. It looked like a pole straight up and down, silver pole with some things hanging on it. And he raised up arms and made some latches and things, and then he hooked up this great big gray canvas bag on it. And it dawned on me that that was a mail crane and a mail bag that was going to get picked up. I thought, oh, that's going to be exciting. So that train came. He slowed down a little bit going through the curve around by the hospital and Tempe High School. But as soon as he got through that curve, he accelerated again, and he was going easily 50 miles an hour when he was coming past the depot. And you could see about 2 cars back in the train, there was an agent, mail clerk. He had that mail crane stuck out at an angle, and I was thinking, oh wow, this is going to be, he'll be grabbing that mail bag. What I didn't see was he had his foot hooked underneath another mail bag. And as he approached the crane, the foot went out like that, and that mail bag came out at 50 miles an hour, and it weighed 50 pounds. So when it hit the ground, it bounced and rolled and made a big cloud of dust. And then right after that, that hook grabbed the bag and he was gone. And I was very impressed by how much activity took place in the matter of about 5 seconds. And the gentleman from the post office went over and picked up the bag, put it in the panel van, hopped in and drove away. Mail crane, after the bag went away, collapses all by itself. It goes from being stuck out like that to just straight down, up and down. It was all over with.